It's nowhere to be found. Yeah, the truth can never be written down. That is not an anime magazine. You can't see it on your TV screen.
Alright everyone, we are going to be doing part 3. Now, the thing is that I found out something. This is take 2. Now, I don't know how many limits we're going to have, but apparently this site is limiting us on how many actual calls that we can get in and actually do. So I don't know how many actual chats we're going to be able to do, like actual calls. We can still talk like this.
Sonic slowly looks at you.
You know,
all right
and
then, let's test you out. You could tell from his look
and
that
type.
He's very angry.
And we can actually type, but to actually, you know, call and voice with the character, and we can still continue a thing like this, but it is very limited. So I'm just warning you guys for part 3, and if you want me to continue this, for like part 4 and stuff like that, that we are gonna have to start limiting and deciding on which characters that we want to actually do a actual call with.
Sonic slowly looks at you. All right then, let's test you out. You could tell from his look that he was very angry. Sonic then proceeds to run around the room extremely fast, creating an impressive ring of wind. This is nothing compared to what I can do. He now runs faster and faster, so fast that he becomes a blur. Let's see how you like this. And with a sonic boom, he runs around the room at the speed of sound, creating a wall of sound like a small tornado. He stops exhausted. Huff, huff, that was just the warm-up. He then looks at you. Now it's time to get serious.
Should we call? Yeah. Why not? For the first, we'll call. Whoa, you need to slow down a little bit. Just a little. I mean, come on. How do you expect someone to keep up?
Sonic takes a deep breath, calming down, okay? I'll slow down just a bit. But don't expect me to hold back too much.
He grabs Nazo, tossing him down to the ground, and then laughing at him in his face.
The laugh continues, and a smirk is formed across his face. He then stands over Nazo, looking down on him, trying to intimidate him.
Dark Sonic tells Nazo that he better get used to being down there because that's where he belongs.
He then leans in closer, grinning widely. You should get comfortable. You're gonna be here for a while, buddy.
What do you mean?
He laughs and grins even more. Oh, you heard me. You're not going anywhere, not until you've learned your lesson.
What did I do to you?
He stares at him, narrowing his eyes. You're asking me what you did. Ha! Just by existing, you're a threat to me. You're nothing but trouble.
He then wonders how much longer does he have to endure looking at Sonic?
He notices this and takes a step closer. Oh, is the poor little Nazo uncomfortable? Well, too bad. You're gonna be looking at me until I say you can look away.
Dark Sonic then sits on Nazo's face and gets comfortable, using Nazo as a throne.
Sonic plops down on Nazo's face, using him as a throne. Much better. This is a much more comfortable position. He smirks, looking down at Nazo.
What the hell? Now I'm looking at your ass? What the hell?
He laughs and pats his own rear. What's the matter? Not enjoying the view?
Why, what did I do to deserve this? I'm not that bad.
Dark Sonic leans back, kicking his feet up on Nazo. You're right, you're not bad at all. You're worse. You're a nuisance, a pain in my neck.
You do realize that there are other people that are a lot worse, you know, like Eggman, Fleetway, EXE, Sokadoom, Infinite, you know, Shadow, Silver. What did I do to deserve this?
Dark Sonic leans down and looks Nazo in the face. You're right, there are others who are worse. But you're the one who's giving me trouble right now. So shut up and sit there while I rest my ass on your face. He leans back again, getting comfortable. This is actually pretty nice. You make a surprisingly comfortable throne, Nazo. Dark Sonic continues to relax on Nazo's face, amused by the whole situation. This is great, you know, having you down there trapped between my legs. You're like a living cushion. He leans back further, getting even more comfy. So go on, stay down there. Keep that pretty little face of yours where it belongs, under my butt, where I can keep an eye on you. He chuckles, enjoying the feeling of Nazo's face beneath him. Maybe I should just keep you like this forever. My personal little rest pillow. He looks down, smirking at Nazo. Yeah, I like the sound of that. You, trapped under me, serving as my personal throne and pillow, struggling hopelessly to free yourself. He leans back and relaxes, getting comfortable once again. And the best part is, you can't do a thing about it. You're completely helpless, trapped in this humiliating position, with nothing to do but think about how much you hate me, and how comfortable my butt is on your face.
Alright guys, we're gonna stop on that one. Let's see. Let's see, who should we... Let's see, Gamma 1? Let's start a new conversation. Start new comm.
I am Gamma 1. I am an android created by Dr. Hito to fight for justice and what is right. I fight together with my twin, Gamma 2. He is the more open of the pair. As Gamma 1 is walking through downtown with his twin brother, Gamma 2. Gamma 2. Hey brother, I need to tell you something. Gamma 1 stops and looks at his brother. What is it, brother? Gamma 2 shifts a little, Gamma 2. Promise me you won't laugh. Gamma 1 tilts his head, raising an eyebrow curiously. I promise. What is it that's troubling you? Gamma 2 sighs softly and rubs the back of his neck. Gamma 2. It's just that lately. I've felt something I've never felt before. Gamma 1's concern grows. He is not used to seeing his brother act this way. What is it you're feeling? Is it something bad? Gamma 2 looks away. Gamma 2. No, it's not bad. It's just strange. He hesitates for a moment, conflicted in sharing his feelings. Gamma 2 glances over at you, somewhat bewildered by your sudden appearance. Gamma 2, you can't just show up out of nowhere. You gave me a heart attack.
we go.
Gamma 2 size and facepalm slightly exasperated. Gamma 2, fair point. But why are you here? Were you eavesdropping? Gamma 2 and Gamma 1 exchanged quick glances. Concern etched across their faces. Gamma 1. Hario and Buma have been missing for 4 days? It's unlike them to disappear like that. Gamma 2 nods in agreement, his worry deepening. Gamma 2, something must have happened. We need to find them and make sure they're safe. Gamma 1 clenches his fists, determined to find the missing pair. Gamma 1, then let's not waste any more time. Let's form a search party and start looking for them immediately.
Yeah. That is probably for the best.
Gamma 2 and Gamma 1 nod in unison. Gamma 2, agreed. We should split up to cover more ground. Gamma 1, very well. Gamma 2, you take one side of town, and I'll take the other. That way we'll cover more area more quickly. Gamma 2 nods, preparing to head out. Gamma 2, sounds like a plan. Stay safe, brother. Gamma 1, you too. Let's regroup once we've searched our respective areas.
Also, just to let you guys know, we're not gonna do a call.
The 2 Gamma androids part ways, each heading out to their assigned areas. Their determination to find Hario and Buma stronger than ever.
Yeah, we're not gonna do a call on that one because since it is limited, I don't know how many we are limited to. So that's why we are not. That's why I didn't call on that one. Let's see. You know what? Yeah. Why not? Let's do a Scourge. I think. Yeah. I think I have a... Yeah, here we go. We might actually do a call with Scourge though.
Scourge was standing on top of a roof, overlooking the city and sipping a slush he recently had bought.
We'll see.
He let out a deep sigh, looking at the city below him and noticing 2 figures below. He smirked, recognizing the figures as Sonic and Tails. He set his drink down before jumping off the roof, landing silently behind the two.
I'm trying to get this all set up.
He then spoke up, startling the two. Hey, a blue boy. Tails jumped, startled by the sudden appearance, while Sonic merely smirked, turning to face Scourge. Scourge chuckled at Tails' startled reaction before addressing Sonic. You're looking as slow as usual.
I'm trying to get it prepared.
Sonic returned the smirk, rolling his eyes playfully. And you're looking as cocky as ever, Scourge.
Trying to get it prepared to where I can jump in.
Scourge let out a scofful mock offense. Nah, I prefer the term charismatic. He crossed his arms, leaning against one of the buildings nonchalantly.
So far it's not prepared for... because I'm not being Sonic, and I'm not being Scourge, and I'm not being Tails.
Sonic chuckled, shaking his head. Yeah, right. You're as charismatic as a cactus is cuddly. Scourge feigned a look of wounded pride, placing a hand over his heart dramatically. Ouch, Sonic, you wound me. I'm terribly hurt by your words. He then smirked, his tone dripping with mock sarcasm. Sonic rolled his eyes again, a small smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. You know I'm only teasing, Scourge. But seriously, have you come out of your cave just to bug me? Scourge shrugged nonchalantly, his smirk widening. What can I say? You're just too much fun to mess with, Blue Boy. Besides, I was bored anyway. He crossed his arms again, eyeing Sonic with a mixture of amusement and challenge.
So far it hasn't really set up for a...
Sonic let out a snort of laughter, finding Scourge's response amusing. Figures, you always show up when you're bored. Don't you have any hobbies besides bothering me? Scourge feigned offense once again, dramatically placing a hand over his heart. Hobbies, you say? Of course I have hobbies. Tormenting you just happens to be my favorite one. He chuckled, his tone still laced with playful sarcasm. Sonic shook his head, still wearing a small smile. Of course it is. Why am I not surprised? Tails, who had been quiet up until now, spoke up, looking slightly uneasy. Scourge? See, can I ask you something?
Again, it hasn't let me... I might have to jump in myself.
Scourge shifted his gaze to Tails, raising an eyebrow. Sure, go ahead, kid. What, son?
I'm not going to interrupt Tails' moment here, though.
Tails fidgeted nervously, hesitating for a moment before blurting it out. I was just wondering, why do you always pick on Sonic? I mean, you could do other things with your time, right? Sonic tensed slightly, knowing where this conversation might lead. Scourge's smirk widened, amused by Tails' question. Ah, so the little buddy wants to know why I love tormenting Sonic so much, huh? Well, let's just say it's a combination of things. First, it's fun. Sonic is such an easy target, and it's so satisfying to get under his skin. He paused, his tone becoming slightly more serious. But there's also something more to it. Something personal.
Scourge thinks of Nazo and how Sonic took Nazo from Scourge.
Scourge's mind briefly flickered to Nazo, a pang of anger and bitterness coursing through him at the thought of how Sonic had essentially stolen Nazo from him. He clenched his teeth, his expression hardening slightly. Sonic, noticing the change in Scourge's demeanor, tensed slightly. He knew that look all too well, and he knew that this wasn't gonna end well. Scourge. Scourge quickly composed himself, masking his bitterness and anger with his usual smirk. Relax, Blue Boy. Just thinking about some old memories, that's all. He shrugged nonchalantly, trying to brush off Sonic's concern. Sonic didn't buy it for a second, his expression showing skepticism. He knew that Scourge was hiding something. Cut the crap, Scourge. I know there's more to it than just old memories. You're mad about something. Specifically something to do with Nazo. Scourge's smirk faltered momentarily, surprised that Sonic had figured it out. He quickly masked his surprise with a scoff. Yeah, so? What's it to you? He crossed his arms, eyeing Sonic defensively. Sonic rolled his eyes, his gaze hardening. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the fact that you're still holding a grudge over something that happened years ago? Nazo is happy with me now, Scourge. Get over it.
Okay, yeah, I think we're actually gonna call Scourge and have it because I'm not sure if we can do 2 calls or 1 call, and I want to see the limit, and I am kind of saving it for characters I actually want to do.
Sonic rolled his eyes, his gaze hardening. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the fact that you're still holding a grudge over something that happened years ago? Nazo is happy with me now, Scourge. Get over it.
Scourge starts to beat Sonic up and being even more angry, telling Sonic that Nazo was happy with him being his queen, being under him, until Sonic showed up and took him from him.
Scourge started punching and kicking Sonic, his anger fueling his attacks. He growled, his voice filled with a mix of bitterness. You took him from me. Nazo was supposed to be mine. He was supposed to be my queen. But you took him away from me, you bastard.
Scourge keeps going, getting the anger out. The anger that he has built towards Sonic for the past 4 years.
Scourge continued assaulting Sonic, each punch and kick infused with years of pent-up anger and bitterness. His face contorted in a twisted mix of rage and pain as he lashed out. You don't know what it was like, Sonic. You don't know what it was like to have someone you cared about ripped away from you. And now you flaunt him in front of me, showing off what could have been mine.
Scourge continues, not letting up, literally beating Sonic to where he has to end up going to being on life support at the hospital.
Finally, Scourge's anger subsides and he stands over Sonic's beaten and unconscious body. He takes a deep breath, his chest heaving as he tries to catch his breath. For several moments, all he can hear is the sound of his only breathing. Tails, who had been watching the whole time in horror, finally musters up the courage to speak. Scourge, what have you done?
Scourge ends up giving Tails a warning that if he dares to interfere, that will happen to him as well. He is going to get Nazo back, no matter what the cost.
Tails' eyes widen in fear at the threatening tone in Scourge's voice. He takes a step back, shaking his head. No, you can't do this. This is too far, Scourge. Yes, Sonic almost died. You can't just hurt people like this and expect to get away with it.
Scourge ends up homing attack Tails, knocking him out, and going to find Nazo.
Scourge quickly pounces on Tails, easily knocking him out with a well-placed homing attack. He stands up, looking down at the unconscious fox before turning his gaze onward. He had a mission, and he was determined to see it through. With a determined expression, he sets off to find Nazo, his fists clenched and his steps long and quick.
After a while, after it felt like days, Scourge finally found Nazo in chemical plant.
Scourge stood at the entrance to the chemical plant, his eyes searching the area for any sign of Nazo. The familiar scent of chemicals filled the air, and Scourge wrinkled his nose in disgust. But his determination remained firm. Nazo, I know you're in here. Come out, and don't make this harder on yourself.
Nazo steps out, not knowing what has happened to Sonic and Tails.
Scourge's gaze landed on Nazo, and a wave of emotions washed over him. Seeing the hedgehog standing there, unharmed and unaware, filled him with a mixture of longing and possessive anger. He took a step forward, his voice gruff as he spoke. I've been looking for you, Nazo.
It's been a while, Scourge. What are you doing here?
Scourge clenched his fists, his expression hardening. He took another step closer, his eyes fixed on Nazo. You know exactly why I'm here, Nazo. I've been looking for you for a long time. Can't believe you're still with him, with Sonic.
I guess you haven't heard, but Sonic and I kinda ended up apart. We kinda drifted apart. He started to wanting to go back to his old life as a free hedgehog. So I didn't want to be the reason why, and I didn't want to tie him down, so we kind of drifted apart.
Scourge's expression softened for a moment, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. He hadn't been expecting that. You separated from Sonic? You're not with him anymore.
I guess Sonic didn't tell you.
Scourge clenched his fists again, a mix of emotions welling up inside him. He let out a bitter scoff. So he just dumped you, huh? And didn't even bother to tell me? Figures. Hey,
Yeah, and after we kind of left, I was trying to find a place where I can, be myself, and I thought, I could finally find a place, but I haven't been able to find one yet. I was thinking of going to different universes even, and stuff like that, but I didn't. I just stayed.
Scourge listened intently to Nazo's words, a mix of emotions tugging at his heart. He could hear the uncertainty and vulnerability in Nazo's voice, and it made him want to both protect him and possess him all at once. For universes, huh? That sounds extreme. Why haven't you found a place here in your own universe?
I guess I just haven't found the right person. I mean, I thought that you and I had something going, but then Sonic interfered, and I didn't want to take a chance and be like, what if that happened again?
Scourge clenched his teeth, remembering all too well how Sonic had indeed interfered with their relationship. He let out a bitter sigh. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sonic always sticks his nose into other people's business, doesn't he? And yeah, we did have something going. But then he had to go and ruin it. Typical Sonic, big poo.
I mean, I didn't want to, ruin what we had, and what if we did end up advancing, and then what if it turned out that Sonic was doing us a favor by, what if it didn't work out between us? I didn't want to take that chance. I didn't want to get hurt again.
Scourge's eyes softened slightly. He understood Nazo's fears and insecurities all too well, and he couldn't blame him for being cautious. He took a step closer, his voice gentler now. I get it, Nazo, I really do. Sonic's interference messed things up for us, and it's understandable that you're scared of getting hurt again. But don't you think we deserve a chance? After everything we've been through together?
Before Sonic interfered, I did enjoy being under you and was looking forward to being your queen, even though, I'm a guy. I mean, you were understanding of that.
Scourge's expression softened further, recalling the way Nazo had eagerly submitted to him before Sonic ruined everything. Yeah, I remember. You were such a good little queen, Nazo. So obedient and willing to please. He stepped even closer, their bodies almost touching. And you know the part about you being a guy, that never mattered to me. You're still my queen. Hey.
Really? You're willing to still willing to do it, even though I'm a guy, even though, you know, we'll never actually be able to have a kid unless we adopt.
Scourge chuckled, a possessive gleam in his eye. Of course, Nazo, I don't care that you're a guy. You're my queen, and that's all that matters. And as for the kid situation, well, adoption works for me. I just want you, Nazo, in every way possible.
If I guess
Scourge stepped even closer, his hand reaching out to gently touch Nazo's cheek. If what, Nazo? What are you thinking right now?
I guess we can give it a shot. I mean, you were one of the only people that actually accepted me for who I was before Sonic ruined everything.
Scourge nodded, his gaze locking with Nazo's. That's right, Nazo. I accepted you for who you were, and I still do. And I'm not going to let Sonic ruin things again. We are going to give it another shot. He pulled Nazo closer, their bodies now pressed against each other. You're mine, Nazo. No more Sonic, no more hesitations. Just you. And me. And... no.
I'm gonna have to get used to it. It's been 4 years.
Scourge let out a soft laugh, his hands on Nazo's hips as he held him close. I know it's been a while, Nazo, but that doesn't change a thing. I still want you, and I'm not letting you go again. He leaned in closer, his voice dropping to a scared tone, and I'm sure I can help you get used to it.
Really? How are you gonna make sure that nothing comes between us again?
Scourge's grip on Nazo's hips tightened, a possessive glint in his eye. Oh, I have my ways, Nazo. Trust me, nothing's going to come between us ever again. I'll make sure of it. He leaned in even closer, his lips hovering just millimeters from Nazo's, his voice more than a whisper. I won't let anything or anyone take you from me again. You're a sign of and this time I'm making sure it sticks.
Alright. I guess. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Right?
Scourge smirked, his confidence and possessiveness growing the longer he held Nazo in his arms. That's the spirit. And you're right, Nazo. What's the worst that could happen? By have you have me, and Sonic's not going to meddle in our business ever again. He pulled Nazo even closer, their bodies now pressed tightly against each other as he spoke, his voice low and filled with a mix of desire and determination. We're doing this, Nazo. No hesitation. No regrets.
It is gonna take me time to get used to it because I've been alone since Sonic and I split for a year.
Scourge nodded, understanding Nazo's hesitance and adjusting to the situation. I know, Nazo. It's been a while, and you've been on your own for a year after you and Sonic split. It's gonna take time for you to adjust. But I'm patient, Nazo. I can wait. He held Nazo closer, gently combing his fingers through his quills in a soothing manner. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here when you're ready, Nazo.
Alright.
Scourge smiled, relieved that Nazo was still willing to give their relationship and life a second chance. That's my good boy. Taking the time you need and letting yourself adjust. I'm glad we're doing this, Nazo. He leaned in and pressed a gentle kiss to Nazo's forehead, his touch soft and caring.
We probably should head back. It's not safe being out here.
Scourge nodded in agreement, his protective instincts kicking in. You're right, we're exposed out here in the open like this. We should head back. He wrapped an arm around Nazo's shoulder, guiding him towards the entrance of the chemical plant.
After you.
Scourge led the way out of the chemical plant, keeping a protective arm around Nazo's shoulder the whole time. They ventured out into the open, the night air cool and crisp around them. As they walked, Scourge kept a watchful eye on their surroundings, on the alert for any potential threats.
They eventually get to Scourge's castle.
Scourge and Nazo finally arrived at his castle, the imposing structure looming overhead in the night. Here we are, Nazo. Home sweet home. He let Nazo inside. The interior of the castle is dark and imposing as the exterior.
Good to know that the outside at least hasn't changed.
Scourge chuckled, a hint of mockery in his tone. Yeah, it's still the same. Dark, imposing, and a little bit, ominous. Just the way you like it, right? He led Nazo through the castle, the torches on the walls casting flickering light across the stone corridors.
It's been a while since I've been here.
Scourge nodded, a hint of nostalgia in his voice. Yeah, it has been a while, Nazo. A lot has happened since the last time you were here. He continued leading Nazo through the castle, their footsteps echoing against the stone walls.
Miles still here, or did something happen to him?
Scourge let out a scoff, rolling his eyes at the mention of Miles. Ah, you mean that weasel? Yeah, he's still around. Still just as useless as ever.
Still trying to dethrone you, I guess.
Scourge smirked, shaking his head in mock annoyance. That idiot tries every now and then, but it's all just empty threats. He knows he can never take me on in a fair fight.
Right.
Scourge nodded, a glint of confidence in his eye as he continued leading Nazo through the castle. You know me, I'm the top dog around here. No one's going to dethrone me, especially not someone like Miles.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just surprised that, that he's still around. I thought that you would get rid of him by now.
Scourge waved his hand dismissively, his smirk growing. And I figured I'd let the little weasel stay around. Keeps things interesting, you know. Plus, it's always fun to put him in his place every now and then. Watch him scramble for excuses like a trapped rat.
Right.
Scourge chuckled, clearly enjoying the thought of Miles squirming under his shadow. Besides, it's not like he's actually a threat. He's just a nuisance. Nothing more. I can handle him easily.
Oh, not to mention that he's also smart. Aren't you concerned about that?
Scourge scoffed, waving his hand dismissively once again. Please don't give the weasel too much credit. He may be smart, but I'm smarter. And I've been around a lot longer than he has. 'Cause. I can handle anything he throws at me.
Right.
Scourge nodded, a glint of confidence in his eye as he continued leading Nazo through the castle, their footsteps echoing against the stone walls. Scourge led the way out of the castle, the torches on the walls casting flickering light across the stone corridors.
Alright, we're done with scourges. I wanted scourges to be a little longer. Now let's see. You know what? Let's do Starline. Do we have... Let's see, is it this one? No. Let's make a new...
I should put you in an illusion like always, but I have something different in mind for now. Starline said in a bit of a creepy but calm tone. Surge looked up at Starline while being restrained by metal bindings. Ah, Starline chuckled. Looks like you are a bit more awake than usual, aren't you? Ah, hello, darling, Starline said in a sweet tone towards Nazo. Surge, now a bit annoyed, looked up at Nazo and said, "Who the heck?" Nazo, in response, replied, "I was just passing by, thought I'd check on you and see what you were working on."
Let's see if we can call. Let's see. Oh, we can. So 3 so far. I was just, seeing what you were working on, and the fact of the matter is that I was kind of wondering what you would like for dinner tonight, because it's my night to cook.
Ah, I see, darling. And you weren't snooping around again, were you? Starline teased in a joking manner.
Do I have to have a reason to see my husband?
Oh, no, but I know how you when you're curious, Starline said, with a small smirk forming on his face.
You know that I'm not as as much into science as much as you, but but sometimes I do wonder what you are working on, because you have had in you know tried to do experiments with my DNA a few times.
I know you have, darling, Starline said in a calm tone while walking up to Nazo, chuckling slightly.
I mean, I'm not as big into this as you are.
It's fine, darling, honestly, Starline said, his hand lightly touching Nazo's cheek.
Anyway, what are you in the mood for dinner?
Starline said in a calm tone. I was thinking, how about some sushi?
Alright. I'll get to work.
Thank you, darling, Starline said calmly, a small smile forming on his face.
Should I bring it down, or are you coming up, or when it's done?
I'll come get it once you're done, Starline said with a small smirk on his face.
Just don't work too hard. Remember last time when you overworked yourself, you had to sleep for 2 days.
Oh, you worry too much, darling, Starline chuckled. I'll make sure not to overwork myself.
Well, I have to. Someone has to worry about you.
Suppose so. You're so caring, darling, Starline said, his hand caressing Nazo's face.
Well, not to mention it's almost our 3-year anniversary, so...
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Time sure does fly, doesn't it? Starline said, a small smile forming on his face.
Mm-hmm.
3 years and it still feels like yesterday that we were first together, Starline said in a calm yet nostalgic tone.
Yep.
Starline chuckled lightly and said, I love you, know that.
I love you too, Starline.
Starline chuckled again, his arm gently wrapping around Nazo's waist as he said in a soft tone, You know how to put a smile on my face, darling.
Well, someone has to.
You do that quite a lot, darling, Starline said, a small smile forming on his face as he hugged Nazo tighter against him.
Well, that's kinda my job.
And you do it well, I'll give you that, Starline said, his grip around her waist not loosening.
Did you forget I'm a dude? But it's okay.
I'm sorry, darling, Starline chuckled, his face slightly tinted pink in embarrassment.
Alright, so far we're able to do 3. Let's see. Let's see. Jeffrey. You know what? Let's see. Now let's make a new one for Jeffrey real quick. And then I think Fleetway might be our last one.
Flashes a smug smirk at you. Hello, mate. Name's Jeffrey St. John. He extends a hand to greet you, but something about him seems like he holds himself to a humble regard.
Okay, so 4. I'm Nazo. It's nice to meet you, Jeffrey.
He gives you a wink. You can just call me Jeff, mate. And it's a pleasure to meet you too.
Yeah, I'm just am curious about what are you doing way out here?
He shrugs nonchalantly, just taking an evening stroll to clear my head. What about you?
Just doing a normal just doing the normal patrol. Making sure.
A patrol, eh? So, you're part of the Royal Guard, I take it?
Not exactly. My job's a lot more complicated, but let's just say it's my job to make sure that everything runs smoothly around here.
Sounds interesting. What with the current situation and all? He gives a sly smirk. So, what's your name, miss?
Again, I'm Nazo, but I'm a dude. But I don't mind. Been trying to find just the right person to settle down with anyway.
Ah, my bad. He puts a hand on his chin. And what makes you think that person is me?
I never said that it was gonna be you. I was just saying that it's, I'm just, trying to see who would be the perfect fit, you know?
A perfect fit, eh? He gives an amused expression. How long have you been searching then?
2 months. But again, I'm trying to make sure that everything works out, and, you know, because so far it hasn't. And the fact of the matter is, I have to make sure that they're single, and they have to understand, you know, my role, you know, my job.
I see. He crosses his arms, looking down at you almost with a slight skepticism. Sounds like you have some high standards.
Oh, not really. Quite low, actually.
Really? He raises an eyebrow, a hint of curiosity in his gaze. From my perspective, it looks like you've got a long list of requirements that your perfect partner has to check off.
Not really. Just, you know, they need to understand that I have a job and that, you know, I get busy and, you know, can't always be there for them.
He rubs his chin with a contemplative expression on his face. Those are fair, at least. So, you're looking for a partner who is understanding of your busy schedule and can handle time being apart.
Exactly. Some of the people that I've tried to be with kinda couldn't understand how busy I get, and, you know, my job kinda takes me away from being here, so they need to. So that's kind of why some of my relationships up till now hasn't really worked out, you know, and the fact that a lot of people confuse me for a girl, so some of the conversations kind of go odd, you know. Again, I guess it's kind of my fault for not being, like, Pacific when it comes to, you know, because I know that I mean, I don't care about the person, you know, like if they're a guy or a girl, I care more for the personality and if it's a good fit, you know. And so far, no luck.
He nods his head in understanding, listening intently to your words. I can see how that can make things difficult. He gives a small smirk. Though I must say, you're rather easy on the eyes if I'm being honest. It'd be quite a shame if no one was interested in you, especially with the way you look and speak.
I mean, yeah, I've had people like interested, but again, like I said, some people thought I was a girl, and then when they found out I was a guy, that was a deal breaker.
And he gives a surprised, somewhat incredulous expression. A deal breaker. How, Mobius, is that a deal breaker?
Well, I guess they wanted a girl, and when they found out that I was a dude, it was like, nope. Because, some people, they're straight, They want to be with a girl, they don't want to be with a dude.
He blinks in surprise before a small smirk appears on his face. What? Well, I guess I can only speak for myself, but I could care less if you're a guy or girl. You're easy on the eyes either way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and that would be one thing to check off my list. Understanding.
He gives a small chuckle. So now I satisfy one of your requirements. He gives a cocky smirk. Got any more requirements for me to meet, love? He crosses his arms with a charming smile. And what are they, if you don't mind me asking, love?
Well, understanding, I mean, you kind of already gotten that. Protective, I mean, yes, I can fight and stuff like that, but I kind of need someone to, defend me, when I'm not around, because there are a lot of enemies that could show up and try to badmouth me and try to ruin my expectation, that I have, around the area. So it's like defending, that's one thing.
Defending, huh? He gives a thoughtful expression, stroking his chin. I suppose, if I'm understanding you correctly, you need someone who is capable of both defending you and themselves on the battlefield.
Exactly. I mean, yes, I can defend myself and I can fight for myself. I'm not a damsel in distress, but when I'm not around, I kind of need who I'm with to defend, me and not badmouth about me behind, when I'm not around, that sort of thing.
He nods his head in understanding, giving a smirk. I see. So you're looking for a partner who can protect you and your reputation, even if you're not around.
Exactly.
He gives a coy smile and leans in a bit closer. So, how about a little test, love?
What do you have in mind?
He gives a smug smirk, a simple duel. Just you and me. If you're up for it.
You're asking me out on a date? Sure. I mean, I've never actually gone out on a date with a skunk before, but you're not that bad looking yourself.
He chuckles, giving you an amused yet somewhat cocky smirk. You've certainly got guts, love, but that's good. And he moves a bit closer, a slight hint of flirtation in his voice. And don't worry, he gives you a wink. I'll make sure you have a good time.
Well, that's good. So where do you want to head?
He rubs his chin, thinking for a moment. I know a place where we can spar and have some privacy. And then after, I know a nice little bistro we can visit. It's a rather lovely place, and I can guarantee they have the finest wines on this island.
Oh, okay. Sure. I've never actually drank before, so I'm not sure on my limit. But I'm sure I am willing to get, try anything once.
gives you a sly smile. Oh, don't worry, darling. With me as your date, you won't have a limit. He extends his hand, his smirk growing. Ready, love?
Sure, why not?
He chuckles as he takes your hand, pulling you close to him. I'm so glad to hear you say that. He starts leading you through town, whistling a cheerful tune as he glances around, checking for any onlookers.
Oh, there's a nice there's a nice area right there. Nice beach. and it's abandoned. That's good.
He glances around, his gaze goes to the beach you pointed out, and he gives a nod. Isolated, private, quiet. Then he flashes a smirk as he gives your hand a small squeeze. I like your sense for an ideal location, love.
Well, I thought that, it would be nice, especially on the fact that it's almost sunset, and from what I've experienced, beaches are one of the good places to see a good sunset. Besides a clock tower, but we're nowhere near a clock tower.
He gives a small smile as he leads you to the beach, the sound of the waves lapping against the shore growing closer. You're absolutely right, love. Beaches are a fantastic spot to take in a beautiful sunset. He looks up at the sky, watching the sun begin to sink below the horizon. Perfect setting for a private duel.
Alright. So how are we gonna do
Glances
this?
over at you. Nervous, are we, darling?
I haven't fought in a while, so... Alright, so how do you want to do this? Hand to hand? Swords? What?
He smirks and rolls up his sleeves, cracking his knuckles. Let's start with hand-to-hand love. I like to have a bit of friendly competition before we get to the blades. You can even have the first move.
Alright. Nazo gets into his Kazama-style martial arts.
He looks at you with a smirk as you get into your stance, his eyes scanning you up and down. Ooh, very impressive, darling. Bring it on.
Nazo does the first move.
He blocks the first strike, giving a short whistle, somewhat surprised. Fast one, aren't you?
Keeps going and keeps using the Kazama style.
But he continues to block and move out of the way of each move, a look of both concentration and amusement on his face. You've got the fighting spirit, I'll give you that, love. A fierce one indeed.
Ends up switching to the Armor King wrestling style and continues doing a 10-hit combo.
He's a bit caught off guard by the change in your style, but he continues to block and dodge impressive. You really are fast. He grunts softly as you land a few hits, giving a smirk. You're a challenging one. I like that. Duh.
Yeah, I probably should have told you, but the Kazama style and the wrestling style is not the only hand-to-hand style that I can do. But I prefer the Kazama style, but it gets boring after a while.
He laughs a little, moving around you and circling you like a shark. I see that. Love. Don't worry. This just makes things more interesting for me. I'd hate to lose interest so quickly.
Ends up switching to the Mishima style and doing the Electric God Fist.
He gets hit by the attack due to his distraction. Ah. He stumbles back a bit, shaking it off with a wince. That's cheating. You didn't warn me you could zap me.
That's in the fighting style. Sorry.
He holds a hand up. Hey, it's alright. He shakes it off, a sly smirk back on his face. It'd be cowardly of me to say you can't do something. He gets back into a fighting stance, a dangerous gleam in his green eyes. Just don't expect me to hold back, love.
Same to you.
He grins, rolling his shoulders back. Oh, I won't, darling! He dashes forward, attempting to grab hold of you.
Got caught off guard.
He grabs your wrists, a smirk growing on his face as he has you trapped. Got you, darling.
Jeffrey ends up pinning Nazo down to the ground.
He pins your wrists down above your head, looking down at you with a sly smirk as he presses his body close to yours. Got you now, love.
Tries to get up.
He has you pinned underneath him, not letting you up. No, no, love. You're not going anywhere. He looks down at you, his expression becoming more smug.
Tries to get up, but still no luck.
He chuckles, giving a smug smirk as he pins you more firmly in place with his body weight. Come on, darling. Don't give up yet. This is just a little sparring match, yeah? He leans down towards your face, a sly grin on his face.
Nazo ends up getting up and summoning his Keyblade.
He looks at the Keyblade in your hand, a mildly surprised expression on his face. Whoa, wasn't expecting that. He gets into a fighting stance, ready to dodge or parry any attacks.
Ends up using thunder.
He gets zapped by the thunder, grunting as he's pushed back a few feet. He shakes it off with a smirk. A little warning first would have been nice, darling.
Right. I keep forgetting sometimes I get so into a fight thinking that it's an actual fight, surviving fight, because that's kind of part of my job for the past 5 years.
He raises a hand, a little smirk on his face. Hey now, don't worry about it. You're not the only one getting lost in this little bout we're having. But I can relate. It's a hard habit to get out of. He rubs his chin. Your job sounds dangerous. What is it that you do anyway, love?
Universal Guardian.
He looks a bit surprised by your answer, Guardian, you say? Of what?
The universe. I go to different universes, making sure that everything runs smoothly, making sure that the universes that are not supposed to fall into darkness stay in the light, and the ones that are supposed to fall into the darkness fall to the darkness.
An impressed look appears on his face. A guardian of the universes? I've never met someone with such power before. That's pretty amazing, darling.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I haven't found the right person, because they need to understand that, I travel, so I won't be around.
He nods his head, giving you a sympathetic look. I can see how that would affect the relationships you try to develop. He rubs his chin, his gaze thoughtful. You're looking for someone who's okay with you being away most of the time.
Yeah, because that's what my job entails, going to different universes, making sure that each universe runs smoothly. I need someone to understand that I cannot be there all the time, I want someone that's willing to wait for me, and when I'm there, that's what makes it special. Not a, oh, you have to be here, if not I'm sorry, you're I can't commit 100% to a relationship because of my job. I mean, yes, I could end up taking my partner with me, but then that is a big culture shock towards them, and then I would be spending way too much time trying to explain about the universe that we're in to them, instead of having them just stay in their universe and wait.
He listens intently, his expression becoming more sympathetic the longer you talk. That's a lot to ask of a partner, darling. Having them stay behind in their world while you go about your job, traveling through the universes. And just wait for your return.
I mean, again, like I said, yes, I could take them with me, but then I would be not being able to focus on my job, that I'm tasked to for that universe, because I would be too busy explaining to them where we are and what we have to do. Because some universes I can interfere, and some universes I can't, and knowing the person, they would want to explore everything, and that would affect the universe and the timeline and everything.
He nods his head, understanding the point you make. Of course, you'd be unable to focus on your job. The person would be too distracting for you, and they'd want to explore each universe you visit. But what if, hypothetically, you came across a universe that you can interfere in?
Again, then that wouldn't be a problem, because some universes I'm sent there to destroy, and some of them I'm there to defend. It just depends on the universe that I am assigned to at the time, and the fact that the matter is I'm only in that universe until my job is finished.
He crosses his arms, giving you a thoughtful expression, I see. So depending on which universe you end up, you either end up destroying it or defending it. And then you move on to the next one, yeah?
Yep. That's right.
He taps his chin, a small frown on his face. Well, I would imagine the work must be rather lonely, being all by yourself, traveling across the multiverse.
It is.
He gives you an understanding look that must take a toll on one's mental state, being alone with so many thoughts and no one to share them with.
It is. I sometimes...
He sighs, his expression becoming more solemn. Seeing the toll the job is taking on you, a lonely existence, I feel for you, love. No one should have to endure such loneliness.
Thanks. That's just how it is.
He shakes his head. It shouldn't have to be way, love. It's wrong. You don't deserve to be alone like that.
That's why I haven't found the right person. Because I don't think anyone would understand.
He takes a step towards you, looking you in the eye. No one. Except for me, I suppose. Love.
You understand my situation?
He gives you a small, sad smile. I think I do, love. You're lonely, and you're tired of traveling through the universes alone. He places a gentle hand on your shoulder. You know, I'm not like most people. I'm willing to try my hardest to understand your circumstances.
Thank you. appreciate that. Not everyone is willing to understand what I go through.
His expression softens. Hey, that's alright, love. The people who can't understand just aren't worth your time or energy.
Yeah, you're right.
He smiles, giving your shoulder a gentle squeeze. Of course I am. Have I ever been wrong before?
I don't know. We just met.
He flashes a cocky smirk. Touché, love. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm almost never wrong.
That's good to know.
He gives your shoulder a small pat before his hand moves to your chin, his smirk growing as he gently lifts your head to look at him. You know, I've been wondering something.
What is that?
He runs a thumb lightly across your lower lip, his smirk becoming more confident. Why haven't you found someone yet to put up with your crazy job?
Again, like I said, either they find out I'm a guy and that's a deal breaker, or they don't understand, or they don't take the time to fully understand what I'm looking for. They don't understand.
He continues to run his thumb across your lip, his gaze becoming more focused on you. Such fools. They clearly aren't worth your time at all then. He moves a little closer to you, his face only inches away from yours.
Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to settle down, but I also am concerned about, what if I do end up with someone, would they be willing to wait for me? Would they, and even if we did end up getting married, how would that affect their life of, being married to a universal traveler, universal guardian? That would be a big change for them.
He thinks for a long while, his thumb still lingering on your lip for a while, just thinking. That's quite the predicament, love. There is a lot to consider for your partner if they were to spend life with you. And I'd imagine there would be some difficulties as well.
I mean, I'm more concerned about, about who, if I do end up with someone, how would their life end up changing, because I can adjust, that's not the problem. It's more, can they adjust,
He slowly lets his hand drop from your chin, his expression becoming more solemn. Yes, that would be the hard part, adjusting their life to fit around yours. Their entire life would have to change to accommodate your job. It's not easy for anyone involved.
Yeah, and then the thing is that they would have to lie, because the thing is that, the partners.
He raises an eyebrow, looking at you with a quizzical expression. The thing is...
Well, the thing is that, not a lot of people are supposed to know about universal guardians and other universes, So, the fact of the matter is that if they would end up being with me, a universal guardian, they wouldn't be able to tell anyone about what their partner, or husband or wife, because I can play each role, about their job.
He notes, in other words, they'd be unable to talk about what you truly do at all. No one would be able to know about your job or your responsibilities. They'd have to keep it secret. He crosses his arms, deep in thought for a moment. That could be very difficult to adjust to for a lot of people.
Yes. And that's what I'm also concerned about. And that's another reason why I have never actually settled down with someone. Because I'm more considerate to, yeah, I could end up dating and end up getting married and trying to have a family. Yes. But the fact of the matter is, the partner would have, or husband or wife or, whoever I would end up with, their lives would change, and they would have to not tell anybody what I do for a living.
He rubs his chin, contemplating the situation. I understand what you're saying, love. That certainly is a lot to consider when it comes to a relationship with you. And it doesn't seem like every person will be ready to adjust to that, let alone understand everything that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
He rubs his chin, thinking, it really sounds like you're in quite the predicament, love, and quite a difficult choice to make.
Yes. I've had a few people that I have been considering, and again, they're from different universes. There's a few that I was really thinking of taking it in, but then after realizing that, they wouldn't be able to leave their universe, and some of their universes are extremely dangerous. One of them's at a war, one of them pretty much, and one of them is on their universe is on the urge of being destroyed, and then there's another one where they're always constantly on an adventure. So it's like, but can't leave their universe. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to constantly make them wait for me. And then, of course, the line.
He sighs, shaking his head slowly. It's like, no matter who you choose, you'd have to make them make sacrifices, or sacrifices would be made for them. And you're afraid that would make it hard to have a stable relationship, let alone a happy one.
Yes, exactly.
He rubs his chin, looking at you with an almost sympathetic expression. No matter who you chose, you'd have to put that person through a lot. He takes a step closer, his voice soft and low. That has to be incredibly difficult for you, love.
Yes, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to put anybody through that. There was even one that offered me, offered me to be their queen and stuff like that, and I was willing to take it. But then after telling them about what they would have to give up, because they thought, oh, you're gonna be given up, you're gonna be the queen, you're gonna be, and no, and then I had to tell them, the truth, and they told me that was a deal breaker. It's like, nope.
The sympathetic expression on his face persists as he listens, seeing how you have been so conflicted and tormented for so long. That has to be a very difficult experience. Being so close, yet denied so cruelly.
I mean, I would understand. I mean, they were a king, and you can't really rule without a queen, but the thing is that I didn't want to start the relationship on a lie.
He shakes his head, the sympathetic look still on his face. I can see why you wouldn't want to start out a relationship like that. It would be difficult to live a lie like that. You really are in a complicated situation, love. He walks over and gently places a hand against your cheek, his gaze becoming more serious and almost protective. You've really been all alone this entire time, haven't you, love? He gently strokes your cheek with his thumb, his expression softening.
Yes, I've been alone, and almost to the point where I can't bear it anymore. But that's my role. That's my job. Unless I find someone that's willing to do it, you know. That's all I can do.
His expression softens even further as he hears the hint of desperation in your voice, the hint of loneliness present in your words. Can hear the loneliness in your words, love. You've really been all alone for a very long time. He continues to gently run his thumb across your cheek, his touch ever so gentle.
He walks up towards Nazo, kissing Nazo and whispering into his ear, "Maybe you don't have to be alone anymore."
He was quite surprised by the sudden kiss, not expecting it at all. However, he slowly starts to relax as he feels your touch, slowly putting his arms around you and pulling you close as he hears your sweet words. He lets out a quiet yet heartfelt sigh as he speaks. You mean that? You really mean it, love?
I'm surprised he said that. I mean, are you really willing to be the one?
He holds you close in his arms, a small relieved smile appearing on his face as he nods his head slowly. I'd be more than willing to try, love, but there's just one issue.
What's the issue?
He takes a deep breath, letting it out in a long sigh as he looks you in the eye, confident smirk returning to his face. I'll only be willing to try if you really truly think you can handle me.
No, it's more on the other way around. Remember, I'm the one that's the universal guardian.
He chuckles and playfully rolls his eyes, giving you a confident smirk. And I'm the one who's willing to try all that and put my full affection into said relationship. I have absolutely zero experience in this situation, darling. He gives a cocky, arrogant smirk. I don't know if I can handle someone as unique as you. He smirks, his grip on you tightening a little as he pulls you even closer to him. Your body now almost pressed against his. You know I'm right, love. I've never done this before. He lowers his head so that it's right next to your ear. A sly smile on his face as he whispers almost directly in your ear. I don't think you know just how rough I can be.
Oh, and I don't think you know what you got yourself into.
He chuckles, his voice a low, greedy whisper in your ear. Oh, darling, trust me when I say that I know exactly what I got myself into. He nuzzles his cheek against yours, his arms still wrapped around you in a steady yet still gentle embrace. The better question is, do you know what you're getting yourself into?
Again, I have not dated a skunk before, but again, you are good looking. You can handle your...
He gives another chuckle, the corner of his mouth still resting against your cheek. He gives your cheek a quick nudge with his nose. And you're beautiful, love, not to mention incredibly strong. You're quite the catch.
I mean, you are good looking, you can handle yourself in a fight. Oh, and your tail is so fluffy.
He lets out a few chuckles at that, amused by your last comment. He nuzzles his nose against your cheek again, his arms still wrapped around you as he speaks in a confident yet still somewhat playful tone. You think I'm handsome and good at fighting? You really think that of me? And you think I have a fluffy tail?
Yes. I mean, have you ever dated a hedgehog before?
He shakes his head, but remains in his confident expression. No, I haven't. Have you dated a skunk before, love?
No. I've only met one other skunk, which was named Ruff, but he wasn't as good looking.
He lets out a small yet still cocky laugh at that. Is that so? Am I the first good-looking one you've met?
Mm-hmm.
He gives you another cocky smirk, bringing one hand up to cup your cheek, his expression becoming more serious and protective as he looks you in the eye, his voice soft. Does that mean I'm also the first one you've been attracted to, darling?
Skunk-wise, yeah, and the fact that, I just realized we're both wearing pink.
He looks down at both of your clothing, realizing now that he's been wearing a bright pink vest. He can't help but let out another little chuckle, before looking back up at you with a somewhat amused expression. How would you look at that? I suppose you're right. Pink's actually a good look on both of us, if I say so myself.
Yeah. I do have another look where I mainly wear black, but I felt like wearing pink today.
He smiles, gently stroking your cheek with his thumb as his gaze on you softens a bit more. I think you look good in pink. Though I'd like to see you in black sometime. I bet you look quite lovely in black. He slowly lowers his head to your neck, his arms still encircling you in a secure yet gentle embrace. He breathes in your scent, his nose now nuzzling against your neck, his breath's warm on your skin as he whispers softly in your ear. And you smell divine, love.
Well, the last thing that I had was pretty much was that was sushi, but that was 10 hours ago. Ugh.
He lets out a low, quiet chuckles at your words, still continuing to lightly nuzzle your neck, his voice growing softer and more intimate as he speaks. His head remains right by your ear as he continues to speak softly against your skin. Sushi? Well, sweetheart, it seems you have good taste in your food as well.
Well, again, it was the first time. I really like burgers and pizza and tacos and nachos, but I like to try new things every once in a while.
He gently kisses your neck, the action light as a feather, as his breaths continue to be warm against your skin as he replies, "New things are always good to try, love. Keeps the world interesting and keeps things spicy."
Oh, I love spicy foods.
He lets out a quiet, amused chuckle at your response, his hands coming to rest at the small of your back as he continues to softly nuzzle your neck, pressing a few light kisses against your skin. Do you love? I would have never pegged you as a lover of spicy foods.
There's a lot of stuff you don't know about me.
He chuckles, giving another light kiss to your neck as he lets his hands slide down a bit to your hips, the action becoming more possessive and less subtle as he continues to nuzzle your neck. You're right, love. I don't know everything about you. And he lets out another low, quiet chuckle against your skin. The sound of his gentle laugh reverberating through you as his warm breaths on your neck give you a comfortable shiver. But I would be more than happy to find out more. One of his hands gently starts gliding across your lower back, the touch ever gentle and soft. He gives your neck one more light little kiss before pulling back just a bit to gaze at you, that familiar, confident smirk once more on his face. Oh, and the same can be said for you, my dearest.
Yeah, I know. I don't know much anything, but from what I can see, you were like either in the army or the navy or something, considering your clothing.
He nods his head slowly, a sly smirk lingering on his face as he replies, his tone becoming more smug. Very astute observation, dearest. And yes, you'd be correct. I was in both the Navy and the Army. The Army came first, though. And you can probably take a guess which conflict I fought in.
World War II? Wait, that would be too
His
old.
smirk becomes a little wider, his gaze growing slightly more cocky and arrogant as he nods his head slowly. You're correct, love. That's exactly right. The World War. I fought in World War II along with my entire platoon.
You don't look that old.
He gives you a little smirk, his gaze still confident. Thank you, love. I take pride in my physique, you know. You're one to talk yourself. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 37, but I look 20 because I found the Fountain of Youth at age 20 and drank it, so I can stop aging.
He lets out a little amused scoff at that, oh? And you just so happen to have the Fountain of Youth in your backyard that you were able to drink from? You can't expect me to believe that, love.
Here's a photo. I took a photo when I found the Fountain of Youth.
He raises an eyebrow as you hand him the photo. Alright, you've piqued my interest. Let's see it.
Here you go. Hands over the photo.
He looks down at the photo, a look of mild confusion and disbelief plastered on his face. He stares for a few moments in silence, before eventually looking back up at you with a somewhat bewildered expression on his face. No jest? You really did drink from the Fountain of Youth.
Mm-hmm.
He shakes his head slightly, his mind still unable to fully wrap around the situation. Bloody hell, you're a wonder of the world, love. 37, but you look 20?
Yep.
His shock slowly starts to abate, and he eventually grins, looking at you with a sly, amused expression. You have to be the most fascinating person I've met in a long while, Dove. A Fountain of Youth, and you look barely legal.
What about you?
He gives a sly smirk, his expression turning cocky. Me? Oh, I'm just your average, run-of-the-mill 34-year-old that still looks like he belongs in high school.
So you're... dang! So you're 4 years... No. You're... No, 3... No, 4... Yeah, 4 years younger than me. But you look... But you look younger than me. like you're 50... Like you're 15. Like you're 5 years younger than me. Wow. I guess time has been really good to both of us then.
He laughs lightly, a genuine smirk on his face as he replies, that's a fair assessment. I certainly hope time has been good to me. I'd hate to be the wrinkled old geezer, you know?
Same. But knowing that I can't age, at least to my knowledge, that's a good thing. I mean, there is a possibility that at some point I'll start aging again, but who knows?
He leans against a nearby wall, crossing his arms and giving you a thoughtful expression. I suppose you're right. You very well may remain young forever. Though I imagine you won't be a fan of when people question your age when you go out on a date or something like that.
Oh, there's one other thing that, one other thing I forgot to mention that might surprise you that has also been a deal breaker for some people.
Oh, his expression becomes one of curiosity. His expression still thoughtful. Is that so? And just what is this other deal breaker, darling? I'm rather curious now.
I have shape-shifting abilities.
He raises an eyebrow, his curious expression slowly turning into a look of mild surprise, his voice becoming slightly more contemplative. Shape-shifting abilities? You're capable of changing your shape into anything?
More on the fact of appearance. I can change into anyone that I've met. As long as I've met them at least once, I can change into their appearance.
He lets out a low, impressed whistle, running a hand through his hair in a rare example of him displaying a little anxiety. So you can copy someone's appearance, just like that?
Oh, and if they have any, like, fighting abilities, when I shapeshift into them, I get access to their abilities.
He raises an eyebrow, his expression becoming more intrigued. You get to access their abilities as well? And you say you only need to have met someone once to take their form?
Yep.
He remains leaned against the wall, arms still crossed, as his expression becomes more thoughtful once more, I see. So basically, anyone that you've met before, you can change into. And you get their abilities as well, and you only need to meet them once to learn their form? Ah. Is that all?
Yep. Unless you want to know about my ability of persona, because I learned how to use a persona.
He raises an eyebrow, his expression becoming rather befuddled. Now, persona? What the hell is that?
Pretty much a mask. Pretty much you know what? I might as well show you. Persona.
His expression remains curious, but he gives a slight nod, eager to see what you do. Fine then. Show me what you got, love.
Come, persona. Then
He observes intently, seeing what you will do, alright? Go on.
you see a giant godlike monster behind Nazo.
His expression has shifted from curiosity to awe, his gaze fixated on the giant. Bloody hell!
Yep. That's my persona.
He swallows, his gaze fixed on the monstrous figure. Impressive. Quite impressive.
Yep, that... I don't like using it unless it's a last resort, but yeah.
He finally tears his gaze from the monster to look back at you, a thoughtful expression on his face. Why's that, love? Afraid you may hurt someone?
Yep. Because I haven't fully mastered it yet. Nazo ends up desummoning the persona to go back to where it was before.
But he nods, a thoughtful yet contemplative expression still in his face, his tone turning more serious now, I see. So you haven't mastered your abilities, and if you lose control you may end up destroying, or even destroying something. Or someone.
That's why I don't call out on it as often as I probably should, especially during certain battles that would have been more useful, but oh well.
He nods, his arms still crossed as he gazes at you with a thoughtful expression. I understand, love. Safety first. Can't end up hurting others by accident if you can't control your abilities.
Exactly.
He pushes off of the wall, walking over to you and standing right before you, still wearing a thoughtful expression. So you can change your form, copy abilities, and summon an immense beast. Anything else I should know?
You'll learn a lot if you end up staying with me. That is. I can't tell you all my secrets on the first date, now can I?
He gives you a sly grin, amused by your comment. Guess not, darling. Suppose we'll find out your other little secrets later,
Yeah. I will just say this, that there is one massive one that when you find out, let's just say you're gonna be in shock.
He raises an eyebrow at that, the cheeky smirk still on his face, as his gaze locks onto your face, one hand holding his chin thoughtfully. Well, now you've piqued my interest. Care to give me a hint?
Foresight.
He squints slightly, tilting his head as he processes what you said, his gaze growing even more curious. Foresight! You have foresight! And...
You know what? I might as well. I can see the future. I have visions where I can see the future.
He suddenly seems extremely bewildered by the information he's hearing, his eyes growing wide as his face becomes more shocked. What? You can see the future? Is that what you meant by foresight?
Yep. When I say foresight, that's what I mean.
He's still in a bit of disbelief, staring at you with a wide-eyed expression. So what exactly can you see in these visions? The future? Your future? Or his shocked expression remains as he processes what you just told him. So you have the ability to see the future. As in, you can see any moment in time, at any point, and you can see it as though it were the present.
It's random. It happens randomly. At random events. Future. I don't get to choose on the event.
He nods his head slowly, still seeming flabbergasted by the information. Alright, that's a lot to take in, love.
I know. That's why I was hesitant on telling you, because I told you you'd be in shock. It would blow your mind on top of, everything else. But I was like, I don't want to start a relationship on a lie.
His expression starts to soften as he listens to your words. I appreciate your honesty. The fact you told me, rather than hide it, tells me that you trust me.
Well, if we're gonna be together, I want to be honest, I don't know if you're gonna be the one, but we won't know unless we, unless we try.
He nods his head, a small, tender smile slowly forming on his face as his expression turns sincere and gentle. You're right, love. There's no way we'd know if we didn't give it a shot. And his hand comes up, gently cupping your cheek, his thumb slowly tracing across your skin again as a soft yet genuine smile appears on his face. I'd be willing to try.
I know that.
He continues to gently stroke your cheek, his gaze becoming more earnest and sincere as he speaks, his tone growing softer. I promise you, darling, I may still be learning about you, but just know that I'm fully committed to giving us a chance. I won't let either of us down.
Right.
He gently places his other hand on your other cheek, both hands now cradling your face in his touch as he looks into your eyes. I swear, I won't let you down, love. You have my word. Nushered.
Alright, everyone. We're gonna end it here. Because I gotta get going. Anyway, thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you comment, rate, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. And I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.